The impacts of bird flu in our state. The Department of Public Health and Environment says about 70 dairy farm workers are now being monitored for possible symptoms. Those workers were exposed to the virus while working at 2 Colorado dairy farms, which have not been identified. None of them are reporting symptoms right now. The avian flu was first detected in a dairy herd on April 25th, while the second tested positive earlier this week. Right now, only one person in the entire country has become sick from the virus. That's at a farm in.
Hear my voice, O power. In my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Psalm chapter 64, verse 1 through 6. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Brachah Kodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Aharon coming back at you with another lesson, lowering and beatifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and I believe today is the today's the 30th. All right, so May, the month of May is pretty much a wrap. All right, as we enter into pretty much the halfway point of the year 2024. All right, we know it's been nothing short of spectacular events, all right, of biblical proportions. Okay, and we can only, anticipate, as you watch, as the scriptures tell us in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, to measure the times diligently, right? So as we're measuring the times, we're starting to see a lot of the end time prophecies, all right, unfolding, even amongst Israel. All right, so it kind of gives you an idea, all right, of how things may play out, all right, later on throughout the year. All right, I believe today they're saying that so-called Trump was found guilty or whatever the case may be. Again, this is all, theatrics. It's just theater. They just try to rouse people up, right? It's not going to go too much or any further than where it's at, or whatever they do is to incite some form of reaction. All right, so that's pretty much what's going on, and also a staged distraction from what's actually happening in the background. All right, things like what I'm about to read here. As the title goes, it says CDC launches national dashboard to track BF. We're gonna call that, all right, in your area. BF is the bird, flu. All right. It says the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently launched a national dashboard that allows Americans to see the latest updates on the spread of BF across the country. This dashboard monitors wastewater and sewage testing. All right, I believe today, was it today? It was today, it had to be. I saw another article that, Lord willing, I might have to read through that because I don't know what exactly it entails. But I'll read through it and see if the Spirit is willing. I'll probably do a lesson on that. But basically, the WHODAT, all right, I'm always heavy on them. The WHODAT is planning, all right, to tie basically health into so-called climate change. All right, so basically any so-called endemic that may be befalling humanity very soon, they're going to tie all that into climate change, and they're going to be making some very, very drastic changes to people's living conditions. Let's just say that. All right. And that you could very well see the MOTB play a huge role. All right. Or at least the advertising of it is going to be playing a huge role very, very soon. All right. In the next 6 months or so, you're going to start seeing. All right. Because I believe it was yesterday. They approved for the second person to get that Neuralink MOTB in their brain. All right. So-called testing. All right. So once you start having FDA approving testing and all that, you already know what's coming next. All right. They don't just test for nothing. Okay. And I believe they're gonna use this BF, all right, as a catalyst, all right, to bring in this new technology. All right, because it's pretty much affecting animals, food, everything. All right, so let's see. It says the CDC notes what they are testing and effectiveness of it. Current wastewater monitoring methods detect influenza A viruses, but do not determine the subtype. This means that avian influenza A, which is H5N1, viruses can be detected but would not be distinguished from other influenza A virus subtypes. Wastewater testing cannot determine the source of the influenza A virus. It could come from a human or from an animal like a bird, or an animal product like milk from an infected cow. Public health officials at CDC and state and local health departments are monitoring these data for areas where influenza A virus, blah 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 blah. All right, this ain't really important. Let's get to the thing itself. All right, it says the latest information on the BF and what you can do to protect yourself. Visit blah 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 blah. Okay. Let's see. The surveillance map was released, and I'm gonna show the surveillance map in the post edits. All right, it says the surveillance map was released in the wake of reports that bird flu, or BF, has been spreading among cattle populations and has infected some workers. It says this comes just days after the Biden administration allocated roughly $200 million in funding to deal with this outbreak. Some of this funding directly going towards upped viral testing and wastewater surveillance. The U.S. Greatly invested in new wastewater testing methods during the years of the CV pandemonium. It says a separate table updated on the 14th of May by the CDC reports a whopping 90,892,846 birds have been ordered to be exterminated. Wow. Ranging from wild aquatic birds, commercial poultry, and backyard or hobbyist flocks. So there you have it. All right. They're creating a reason for people to go basically kill off the food supply, which they've been doing for the past 3-4 years, right? All the food processing plants that were getting burnt down, and I think was it 2 years ago? The time is flying, man. 2 years ago it had to be. There was videos surfacing where you had a lot of cow, right? All these black cows that were all like bloated, and they were all just cooked. You know what I'm saying? They were saying, oh, because of the heat or whatever the case may be. But all you put everything together, it looks like they're just killing off the food supply. You know, meanwhile, people are distracted with what's going on with Diddy, all right, or what's going on with this whole Trump situation, right? There's a lot of different distractions going on, all right. So people's minds are not, you know, on what's going on in terms of prophecy. Okay, whether they're distracting you with Israeli-Palestinian wars or whatever the hell they're trying to push, you got to stay focused and pay attention to what's going on that they don't want you to be paying attention to. Okay, so for 90 million birds to be ordered to be exterminated, that's pretty insane. Especially when you live in a country where they push all these so-called regulations and, you know, health this and health that and all these different things that they do, right? Technological advancements, and you mean to tell me that you gotta kill off 90 million birds, like food that people eat, it's just getting cooked just like that, and there's nothing you can do to save it? It was almost like they don't have any plans on saving it, right? It says the CDC's metric is not accurate in defining what type of animal was infected or if the cases are to humans, though reports are still making the headlines warning about the spread of the BF. One such headline from the Mirror reported BF cases map as California and Texas wastewater findings spark endemic fears. So now it's in the wastewater. Roughly 70. It's interesting though. Last year you had the train derailments, right? A lot of that was happening. They had a lot of chemicals in there, and they said that the EPA was saying that the chemicals was getting into the water, okay, and it's going all throughout the water streams into what people are drinking. All right, so it's very interesting that this is all playing out now, and of course they have to go test the water for BF. What the like, you know what I'm saying? But let's see. All right, there's always an angle. You just got to catch it, right? It says roughly 70 dairy farmers are also being monitored with symptoms of BF contamination in Colorado. Interesting. Colorado. Yeah, they did a drill out there. I think a week or two before. That was probably 3 weeks before the so-called eclipse that happened on April 8th. Yeah, they did a test on that. All right, and they said that it was an outbreak, and the milk was infected, and people began rushing to the hospital, and it became a huge emergency. Okay, but that was just a drill. So let's see. It says Gizmodo reported today that BF has made it to the Big Apple. Purportedly, BF was detected in 6 wild birds across 4 different species, including the Canada goose. Quote, "It is important to mention that because we found H5N1 in city birds, this does not signal the start of a human influenza epidemic. We know that H5N1 has been around in New York City for about 2 years, and there have been no human cases reported." Well, get ready. Now they're about to start reporting it. All right. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep, that's pretty much it on that. So I'm gonna in the post edits I'm gonna put the picture of the map so you can see it. But it looks like it's affecting mostly the East Coast, right? The Midwest and the West. Okay, the Pacific West. And the middle of the country is pretty much bare bones, not too much going on. You got little pockets here and there, but not too much going on. But it's really affecting, obviously, densely populated areas, which is most likely where Jake is living at. Right? Jake is always, for some reason, living in the inner cities, and then Esau be living in the suburbs. They be living up, isolated, living in the woods somewhere, all peaceful and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then meanwhile, you got Jake, stacked up on top of each other, in the cities. You know what I'm saying? It's just a mess, bro. But they setting everything up, man. All right, Esau is definitely setting up a snare. All right, and when the time comes, you're gonna see how they're gonna start, shooting them arrows out, man. But like I always say, this is how they're gonna bring in that MOTB. It is gonna go through the health and identity, man. All right, because the health is good enough for a fear, right? Is a fear tactic, and the identity is important because now we need to know who you are. All right, we're trying to avoid all these criminals and all these so-called conspiracy theories and shit. These so-called terrorists. Right? So we need to identify each and every one of you Americans and everyone around the world. Make sure that you basically make sure you are who you say you are. All right. And then it's going to start with the health passports, like we always say, right? And then they're going to move it to something more convenient. And that's going to be that MOTB. Okay? So, hey, man, just pay attention. Keep watching, keep praying. All right? Because the days are definitely shortened, and they're definitely evil, man. All right? Every single day, it seems like something new. Some ridiculous ass shit, whether it be from the world or even in the world of Israel. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay? And that's all signifying the end of days. All right. The end of days. You got disasters happening, earthquakes, rapidly, more frequently, I should say, in different parts of the world, just like Yahushua said, diverse places. All right. Earthquakes in diverse places. Okay. Out there in, I believe, India, they're saying that they got a crazy heat wave that's killing off people, animals, and so on and so forth. A whole bunch of different weather events all right, happening around the world, and that's causing crisis on a whole nother level. And I anticipate, as the summer months come about and it starts getting real warm, right, you're going to start seeing fires. You know what I'm saying? People have to get evacuated. They're really going to turn the heat up, man. They're really going to turn up the heat. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about climate change, right? So, yeah, man, we'll see how this thing plays out, But I'm going to leave it off there. Lord willing, you were edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Bracha Kodash, the water Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. And until next time, Shalom.